Hey guys, so today we are going to practice graphing situations that are a little abnormal, and this would be a 4.0 skill for this unit. So, just like always, the first thing you're going to want to do with any graphing situation is try and figure out the slope and the y-intercept. Here we have our equation, y equals 3x. Remember that your equations are usually in the format y equals mx plus b. M being your slope, and b is the y-intercept. So in this case, your slope would be 3, or, because we're going to need it as a fraction, 3 over 1. And your y-intercept, or b, well, we don't technically have a number here like we normally do. So your b in this case is actually 0. There is no y-intercept in our equation, so we can put a 0 in its place. And that means when we graph, we are going to start at the origin, or the middle of our coordinate plane. So I'm going to put my dot at 0 on the y-axis. And then because my slope is positive 3 over 1, that means I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Then from there, I can put my second dot. And now we could do this again even if we wanted to. Go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. Remember, you need at least 2 dots, but the more the better. And then at the very end, we're connecting our dots. And that is kind of our first weird situation where we don't see a y-intercept and we have to assume that it is 0. Our second weird situation that we are going to run into is something that looks like this. So now I have y equals -4. You'll notice that there's only one variable. In this instance, I only have a y. Still, we are going to start off the same way we did before. I'm going to try and identify my slope and my y-intercept. Now remember, the slope is always the coefficient of the x. Since there is no x, this time your slope would be 0. And your y-intercept, or the constant in y equals mx plus b, would be -4. Now, if you think back to one of our first lessons this unit, we said that a 0 slope, that would be like 0 fun if you were on a roller coaster, and it is just a straight horizontal line. So the way that this graph is going to look, we're going to put a dot at our y-intercept, which is -4. And then because it's a 0 slope, I'm literally just going to draw a straight line horizontally. And that is our second type of strange graphing situation. The third type of strange graphing situation that we might run into is something that looks like this. Here I have x equals 5, okay, and this one looks the most different out of all of them. What this is basically saying is this is saying regardless of where I'm at on my graph, my x value is always going to be 5. No matter what the y value, the x value will always be 5. The other way of thinking about this is that your x-intercept is equal to 5 in this case. So what we're going to do here, this is actually an undefined slope. And if we think back to our first lesson, undefined was a straight up and down line. So I'm going to put a dot at 5 this time. That's my x-intercept. I know normally we put a dot on our y here, but because our format is so strange, we're actually starting with our x. And then we know our slope is undefined because we don't have anything that really resembles a slope here. So here we're just going to draw a straight up and down line. And you want to remember your arrows. And that is our third type of strange graphing situation. So if you have x equals a number, it's going to be an undefined slope. If you have y equals a number, it's going to be a 0 slope.